Today I want to showcase one more example of how can we use a local LLM plus Python and build our own applications. It's gonna be interesting topic in my mind, and I just want to remind you the main idea that we covered in previous sessions. It's that if we have the messy data and if we have the local LLM, we can use the local LLM to reshape the data, to organize it in a very nice way and provide the JSON file format, which is crucial because we can leverage it and build the Python deterministic application on top of it. And today we will see one more example, and probably in the next episodes I will switch back to using the local models for coding using the agents. But today also I want to remind you about some benefits of local LLM. They are privacy, because in this case we run everything on a local machine. We don't send anything to clouds, to some other companies. Also, it allows us to work in an offline mode where you don't need to have an access to the internet. Also, it allows us to customize the model or use different models, customize the way how they operate. Also, it does not need a subscription, so we don't need to pay to anyone to be able to run the models. And also we can experiment and learn using the large language models which stored locally. And today we will cover one particular topic, which is retrieval augmented generation. So we will build a very naive implementation of RAG system using the local LLM, which is spinning on our machine. Today I will use LM Studio plus Gemma in the same way as it was like in the previous video. And I just want to cover maybe the main idea of RAG system. In this case, we want to solve the following tasks. Let's assume that we have some user which send us query prompt, and we want to build our response based on some documents that are stored on our machine, for example. And in this case, we want to get the response based on documents and not on the prior knowledge of model. Because sometimes we know that model can hallucinate and provide us some output which is incorrect. In this case, we will try to enforce a large language model to work with documents. And then basically we got the prompt, local LLM went and checked documents, and then local LLM will send us response. I don't have arrow here, but basically this is the idea. And now let's switch to the LM Studio. I will show you what kind of the model right now is working on the LM Studio. And then I will switch to Python code and I will show you main core things which are implemented there. And we will see how it works in practice. So this is LM Studio, and right now I'm running the Google Gemma 4e4b. It's a very small model, but even this model can be used in some particular cases. And today we will check it with the RAG application, whether it can work or no. Okay, now let's switch to VS Code and let's check what kind of code we have and what is the structure of our project. So in my case, I have local RAG folder, and then we have nodes. So this is very small nodes. We have some architecture, meeting nodes with some information about what was the decision, reason, project plan, random thoughts. And basically this is the documents that we will use to shape our responses from local LLM. We will embed this text into vector representation, and then the input from the user will be also converted to the vector, and we will check whether the input is somewhat similar to the nodes, and based on the metric, which is a cosine similarity, model will decide what is the best response to the prompt that we got. And this is our documents. Then we have utils. In this file basically we specify different utilities. As you can see, there is a load JSON file, load prompt template, get available models. Some of the methods are basically pretty much the same as we had them in the previous video. And then maybe the most important part for us here is that we are loading Markdown files, and then we split them into chunks, and each chunk is embedded using the sentence transformer. So in this case, we will use a sentence transformer to convert the text into some numerical representation, which later can be used to measure the similarity between the input and the documents that we have, or if be more accurate, with chunks that we got after making chunks from our documents. And then using all these functions where we build the vector index of our documents, and then we check the cosine similarity between our query and our documents, and then we get snippets. This is a part where we try to identify the most similar chunks from the documents to the input, and then based on these chunks the model will make a decision about what is the most reasonable answer to the prompt that it got. Okay, so now let's just check how it works. I will attach link to the files in the comment section, so if you want to go over in more details, you can do it later. Here we have the demonstration, so let's just run everything. And in this case, we use the URL. In my case, I specified the base URL based on the one that I see in LM Studio. So as you can see, we checked that the model which right now is working, it's a Google Gemma for E4B. Then we build index from the documents. It takes some time, but not too long. And then we have a question. So in this case, we are asking, what did I decide about the database migration? And then we will get some snippets. So let's check the output. As you can see, these are the snippets. They are ranked based on the cosine similarity. And we have the file where the chunk was defined, and there is a text. And then basically we can provide these snippets to the model and get the results. So let's check how it works. As you can see, we got the answer. It was decided to migrate from SQLite to PostgreSQL because SQLite locking. So basically we got the answer, which is indeed based on the documents that we provided. And also we can just print it in a more nice way. So this is another way how can we just represent the output. It gives us the sources, basically what was the source, and also the answer. Yeah, and I need to say that this is a very naive implementation. You can definitely make it more accurate. This is just a showcase of how can we use local LLM to resolve some tasks. And then also we can try to ask something which model supposed to not know. For example, this question is like built in the way that models shouldn't know the answer based on the documents which are provided. So let's just check it. And as you can see, so the model said that I don't know based on the provided files. Now let's check whether we can work with files which are like much bigger. In this case, I created some files, so I call them bioinformatics, geography, and basically these are files with some interesting facts about bioinformatics, geography, and each file roughly it's about 10,000 of words, so you can see it's pretty big files. And let's try to check whether we can use the same system with our like bigger files. And I have one more notebook, but the idea is basically the same. So here we just load the modules and packages, and then we will follow the same steps. So let's check what is the model. It's a Google Gemma for E4B. Now let's just build the index of our documents. As you can see, so it was like pretty fast. Now the question that we have is with what kind of datasets bioinformaticians usually work. And let's see what are the top 10 chunks. So as you can see, mostly all of them are from bioinformatics.md, which is expected. And now let's check what will be the output of the model. So now we need to wait a little bit. Yeah, and as you can see, so we got the output, and the answer is bioinformatics. Researchers often work with datasets that are described as noisy, incomplete, and heterogeneous. So as you can see, we got the answer. You can then double check that it's true. For example, we can go to bioinformatics and put noisy, incomplete, and heterogeneous. So it's indeed belongs to this document, and basically it's like the whole sentence from this document. And this is what we indeed expected to get from the model. Also, we can check some other type of question, for example, the one which not supposed to be in the model, because it's the same questions that we checked before. And let's see what will be the output in this case. So, and for this one, we again get that I don't know based on the provided files. Now let's check a little bit more complicated question. So as you can see, I'm not a native English speaker. I just put it in a random way. The question is, there was a fact where similar objects can be built from the given one if the given one is split into many pieces. Could you remind me about that? So pretty random thoughts that I had, and I put them into this question, but let's check whether we can get the proper output for this question. So, and here we get the answer, which is the correct one, as I see, and the answer is a concept that describes this is related to the Banach-Tarski paradox. And this was just as an example that you can even have not very nicely defined question. Still, model got it correctly and found the proper answer. So that's it for today. I just wanted to show you one more example of how can we use local large language models. And we built a naive RAG system, or like RAG application. For me it was fun, and now I want to switch in new upcoming sessions, videos, to the coding, where we will use agents, probably local models, or maybe the generic cloud-based models as well. I will think about it. So yeah, if you like the video, subscribe, give it a like. Yeah, see you next time.